Hello. What have I got today for your viewing pleasure? Okay, this is not a new phone. This is the original 5-inch Google Pixel, not the Pixel XL. Now, when they came out, of course, I suppose anybody who's an Android fan fancied them, and I was obviously one of these fanciers. But anyway, I didn't get it at the time. Whatever phone I was operating, I couldn't justify buying one of these. So I came across, I started looking actually on eBay for second-hand ones, and they keep their prices pretty, second-hand prices are pretty still high. I managed to find this one for $110, and the caveat being that it has a couple of scratches on the back, and this is one I read, at least there's complaints of people where the body, aluminium body, got easily scratched, and there are some light scratches on the screen, but for me nothing major. And the seller that I bought this one from had complained that it was overheating, but once he'd upgraded it to Android 9 or Android Pie or P, whatever it's called, I haven't seen any problems with it at all. I mean, very occasionally it will get hot, but not any hotter than any other phone that I've used if I've been doing anything particularly stressful for the phone. So let me just get the specs out of the way. It's a 5-inch Full HD AMOLED screen. They have 12 megapixel and 8 megapixel cameras. It has a Qualcomm 821 quad core, and I think it's an Adreno, let me just double check that, Adreno 530 GPU. This particular model is the 128 GB, so that's why I think I got it at a decent price. 128 GB model, no SD card, 4 GB of RAM, USB-C, NFC, fingerprint scanner, and of course it has the, can you see it there, the headphone jack at the top. So is it worth to buy one of these? And this is why I wanted to, I just forgot that I'd set up the fingerprint scanner to show you, because I don't normally use fingerprint scanner when I'm using my phones. I'm too lazy basically. But anyway, so I thought, is it still worth buying one of these now that the Pixel 3 is out? I think that we should see a bit more choice of lower priced Pixels, Pixel 2 probably. So is it worth it? Okay, well, I'm going to tell it straight out, get it out of the way. Yes, it is worth it. Okay, I think it's a really good phone. Now, a lot of people these days, are complaining about the size of phones getting too big and are difficult to hold in the hand. And if you look at what I was reviewing the other day, the Nexus 6, which was a huge phone, I mean, it's not easy to operate with one hand. This fits very easily into a smaller hand, I would say, and it's pretty much, you can do anything with it one-handed. I would say one thing, and maybe this is why there was a lot of reviewers complaining, but it is very slippery. Okay, so I would probably be advocating for having it in some kind of case, because yeah, it is really slippery. It does have Corning Gorilla Glass, I think it's 4, but this is very slippery. Now another critique or negative that was put towards this was the design, and people said it was pretty boring, and I think, you know, they have a point. I think Google could have done a bit more, certainly with the front, even if they maybe changed the colour of the front different from the back. But people were complaining about this rather large chin here, and what does it do? I mean, it doesn't seem to really serve any real function. So I can agree with them. I think maybe just something subtler, maybe a little smaller chin would have kept people happy. Around the back, I think, is a slightly different story. It's got these kind of chamfered edges here, which I quite like. And although this is not the real colour to show on, this is a glass panel here over where the fingerprint scanner is, and yeah, I think it's understated, but I think it looks quite cool. It only has the Google G here, so the back, I think, is really pretty nice and stylish, in my opinion. I just think that they could maybe have thought a bit more about the front, and a lot of people complained about that, especially when, you know, you're just seeing a lot more fancier phones about. That aside, so it's 2016 that this came out. How does it work now with Android 9 on it? Well, I mean, I don't know how it worked with any 7 or 8, but with Android 9, I have not noticed any issues at all. And anytime I've noticed any heating up, it was short and sweet. So I find it been rather pretty smooth, and I've had no real, I haven't seen anything yet. Call quality is excellent, in my opinion. I've music quality, I just want to talk to you about this because I have, let me show you here, where are they? Let me just get these here. My latest addition for listening to my music are the AKG Y50 Bluetooth, and now you can pick these up for less than $100, and I would recommend them to anybody. I think they're solid, they look cool, get them in different colours, and for that price you'd be hard pushed to find any over-ear headphones that are going to give you the quality. So anyway, I'm not going to review these per se, but they are excellent, so it's worthwhile checking them out. Certainly on eBay, I think I saw them for like $75-80. So music wise, via the Bluetooth, I found it to be excellent. That's just my subjective opinion, and I really thought it sounded really cool. Now I'm going to share, as you know, I like to occasionally share an app with you, and I want to share this one with you now. I just have to find the logo. Where is that? It's called Boom. Right. Okay. Now this is on. This is just. I think it's a pre-release version that is on the Play Store. It's been on the Apple Store. I have it on my iPhone. I found this to be not only a really good player, but it's the controls for improving the sound of the music. I have found has been very, very decent. So at the moment, now I'm not sure how they're working it in, if it's how free it is, or it's free with adverts, or they're going to offer maybe a pro version. I don't know, but it's still on kind of pre-release, so it's worth while checking it out. I just think it makes it's a noticeable difference if you play on another music app, then you put the Boom on and you put the settings on, which come from here. It's like 3D surround sound, full bass. You can change the intensity, has a equalizer, which has all the normal kind of presets. But I found it with this 3D surround sound, and I'm not really a big heavy bass person. I'm more kind of mid-toppy type of person, but over the Bluetooth, the bass is a lot subtler, but it just gives it a really quite a full-bodied sound. That's my subjective, humble opinion. And so Boom, it's called. It's pre-release, but it is on there. At least check it out if you're a music lover. Worthwhile. Camera-wise, well, the camera, I haven't used it that much. I just used it for, let's see, did I use it for any photos? My friend. I used it for some video. This was in the house under poor lighting conditions. Was my kid trying to get to my Android box under my TV. Very annoying boy. Look, the camera had its detractors. People saying that it was it could have been better. Well, maybe it might not be the best, but it's certainly up there with the best, and it's more than enough to satisfy my uses. So again, it can be subjective for most people. The battery on this, I think, is a 2,700 milliamp hour battery, I think, and this is another complaint that people have been making, and I think that's fair enough. Now, this is a second-hand one, so the battery will run down a bit quicker as well if it's on the Wi-Fi or on the 4G. But I mean, it's been fine. It'll get me through a day. But I've seen me plugging into the charger before the end of the night. So it's again, that's just something that you would, if you had bought a new one, I think you would be getting a bit more battery life from it. It's not horrendous, but it's not the best. Okay, so. It was just one of the things that people were complaining about. Now, I did where is it? I did, of course, the usual Antutu, just to give people an idea of what kind of score this is getting now for a two-year-old phone with specs. And when it came out, even them specs were not the highest. They were a kind of generation before. I think it was the Qualcomm 835 that was out by that time, I think. But anyway, I think it's getting a pretty decent 137,324. I mean, I think that's pretty decent. Again, when it comes down to it, it is all subjective. But I think with the 4GB of RAM, that decent processor, and of course I have the 128GB version, doesn't have SD card slot, as I probably said, but I haven't noticed anything, and I haven't played any games on it, but I'm sure you'll have absolutely no problems at all. Now, I think the XL version, the Pixel XL, the screen resolution is higher, and I've actually ordered one. It might even come this week, which I will do a review on as well. Most probably this one will be going for sale, but I like it, and sometimes I'll see how the bigger one sits in my hands, because I'm going on vacation soon. I'm not taking this phone I'm filming on, I'm not taking it with me on my vacation, because just in case. So it'll be either this or the XL that I will take with me, and I can fill it up with some entertaining stuff to if the flight is not get any decent movies, then I'll be watching it on this or its big brother, shall we say. Now, what else I wanted to tell you about? Well, it charges pretty fast. I think it has this quick charge. So, I mean, it's I've noticed that it will charge up pretty quickly. The SIM tray is here, and the power and volume rocker on the other side, as I say. And the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was, well, I don't know, again, I like to tell people if I've been using apps, and I may have mentioned this one before, but for torrents, I've found that, where is he? Flood, he be the best. And you'll see that there's some things downloading there. I don't know exactly what that is, he said. But I found Flood be pretty good for mobile, so it's worthwhile to check it out. The other one I wanted to tell you about, and I know I've said this one before, but I'm going to say it again, because really between devices, iOS, Android, my tablets, my iPad, Share It app has been a godsend. This is I have the Share It Pro on the iPad, but this is the free version on Android, and really you just share everything between, as long as you're all on the same network, you can share videos, movies, music, books, magazines, whatever it is. Excuse me, my nose seems to be getting blocked for some reason. I think it's the AC. That Share It app is pretty decent. Another app that has good reviews on the Play Store, and I downloaded it for the Nexus, was the Kaspersky kind of battery saving app. And on the Nexus, I haven't used it on this phone, but on the Nexus, I did eke some more power out of that battery, or I got a bit more longevity, should I say, out of that battery. So Kaspersky Battery Saver, I think it's almost like a 4.8, 4.7 score. People seem to be pretty happy with it. So I will no doubt be keeping it going and see how it goes as I'm using. Now the other one I wanted to just mention before I go, so this is Google Daydream compatible, so you can use it for VR in a headset, although they're saying that with the 1080 full HD display, it would probably be better with the Google Pixel and XL. What else can I tell you good people about this? Well, look, it's a 2-year-old phone, and a lot of us look, this is it, this is the thing. If you like phones like me, you don't have lots of money to be, splashing out on them, well, I have no problem buying slightly older phones. Really, I don't. I like to use them, and then I can sell them on because they're still pretty decent. So, that's why, phones, when that Nexus, the Nexus was what, like 2014? And I think it's still a decent phone, and, I just feel that people who maybe missed out on a really fancy phone, okay, so this is the... right, so anyway, don't be shy if you fancied a phone in the past. I was even thinking about getting the LG G5 because I always fancied it, but I went for the Pixel. So I put the setting on about magnification because I was just worried that my small eyes were what can I say, my eyes were having difficulty with the some of the oh god, I'm getting old. Anyway, you can change the size of the text, excuse me, and there's also this you can activate this zoom, so there you can see a bit quicker whatever it is, and then it will blah blah, so this is kind of one-handed zoom thing. If you eyes are, I should wear my glasses, then everything will be fine, but that's my problem. So yeah, 4G LTE, of course, and that is about it. I would think anybody who's a fan of pure Google and wanting to, whether this will get the next update, I doubt it, but it's on Android 9, so that's going to be another year before the new Google will be out. This could be, a decent buy for somebody as your daily driver or as your second phone. So it's definitely worthwhile thinking about, and I just wanted to share it with you. Any questions, as usual, leave them below. I will do my bestest to answer them in a timely manner. So that's the Google Pixel. I like it a lot. Bye.